Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by, and welcome to the EHang third quarter 2022 earnings conference call. As a reminder, we are recording today's call. Now I want to turn the call over to Anne Ji, EHang Senior Director of Investor Relations. Ms. Ji, please proceed.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on today's conference call to discuss the company's financial results for the third quarter of 2022. The earnings release is available on the company's IR website. Please note the conference call is being recorded, and the audio replay will be posted on the company's IR website. Today, the EHang management team, which include Mr. Huazhi Hu, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Xin Fang, Chief Operating Officer, and Mr. Richard Liu, Chief Financial Officer, will successfully give prepared remarks. Remarks delivered in Chinese will be followed by English translations. All translation is for convenience purpose only. In case of any discrepancy, the management team statement in the original language will prevail. A Q&A session will follow afterwards. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made pursuant to the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's actual results may be materially different from the expectations expressed today. Further information regarding these and other risks and uncertainties is included in the company's public filings with the SEC. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements, except as required under applicable law. Also, please note that all numbers presented are in RMB and are for the third quarter of 2022, unless stated otherwise. With that, now let me turn the call over to our CEO, Mr. Huazhi Hu. Please go ahead, Mr. Hu.
大家好，感谢各位参加我们今天的业绩电话会议。一航自2020年底向中国民航局递交 EH216 的审定申请以来，在过去2年时间内，我们始终在坚定不移地积极推动 EH216 的审定进程。适航认证不仅是航空器正式投入商业化运营的安全认证和必要前提，也是一航迈向城市空中交通平台运营商战略的必经之路，是公司业绩增长的关键催化剂和驱动力。感谢我们的投资人、客户、监管方以及各界合作伙伴的长期关注和支持。每一位一航人都感到责任重大，也一定会不负众望，达成所愿。尽管适航审定过程中充满了创新开路者所面临的诸多挑战，以及疫情所带来的持续影响，但我们的技术、产品、认证团队夜以继日的攻坚克难，群策群力，不辞辛苦，并与中国民航局与审查组紧密合作，即将迎接胜利的曙光。目前，我们的全部审定计划已顺利获得中国民航局审查组的正式批准。也就是说，围绕航空器的性能与飞行、结构强度、设计与构造、地面控制站、机载人机交互、持续适航等全部12项专业适航审查科目的符合性方法均已确定。由此 EH216 的审定流程已顺利完成概念设计阶段、要求确定阶段和符合性计划制定阶段，目前已处于最后的符合性证明与试验实施阶段。我们已完成了工作最繁重的部分，迈过了最难的坎儿，攻克了很多不确定性的难关。接下来我们正在做的就是逐一完成我们制定的计划。不仅如此，我们对适航审定的最后阶段充满信心。这个阶段的具体工作就是由审查组和一航依据经批准的 CP 进行验证审查，包括实验室试验、地面试验和检查、飞行试验、数据分析等。而一航216多年来积淀的超过3万次安全飞行和数据记录，都可以作为符合性表明的有力证据。 这些经过考验的自动驾驶载人飞行记录，在高海拔、台风、沙漠、大雾等极端天气环境下的实地测试飞行，加快了符合性验证的进程。在此基础上，我们正在开展一些补充试验和试飞试验的工作，来完成 TC 审定。我们对全球首个无人驾驶航空器的试航取证充满信心。这份信心不仅源自我们的飞行器硬科技创新实力和先进性，也来自中国政府、民航局、航空业界的开放和创新精神，以及他们的高度关注、支持和引导，让 EH216 审查项目的创新度、广度、深度和速度走在新行业的前列，走在全球的前列。今年9月和11月，一航非常荣幸地受到国际民航组织的邀请，赴加拿大蒙特利尔国际民航组织总部参加第41届大会、创新成果展示会以及专题研讨会，向全球各国民航局分享 EH216 在适航审定方面的探索实践和创新成果。特别在国际民航组织大会上，中国民航局作为1类理事国，重点介绍了中国制定的第一个载人无人驾驶航空器系统 TC 审定项目的适航审定标准，为各国在制定相关规则中提供了参考。喝头啖汤不易，做开拓者更难。尽管如此，从创立第一天至今8年来，我们从未动摇。一航的使命致力于让每个人都享受到安全、自动、环保的空中交通。为此，我们始终秉承安全至上、大胆创新、仔细分析、谨慎求证的态度，用自身的经验为相关行业标准和规范的制定做出自己的贡献，引领全球eVTOL新行业的健康发展和不断完善。同时，我们很高兴地看到，在一航为代表的创新先行者的推动下，中国有越来越多的新政策、新举措，不断支持和推动城市空中交通和民用无人驾驶航空的发展。今年8月，中国民航局发布了民用无人驾驶航空发展路线图 1.0， 明确了2025、2030、2035的短中长期的发展阶段和目标，为新行业的发展指明了方向。同时，中国民航局还发布了第2批新增的7个民用无人驾驶航空试验区，加上第1批的13个试验区。目前，中国累计已有20个试点城市，将政策落实到实处。在获批的试验区里，一航得到了当地政府和客户的大力支持，积极建设 UAM 运行试飞基地和配套基础设施，并提供了大量的预订单，以带来空中旅游、空中物流、智慧城市等多产业融合发展，为一航 AAV 的运行和实际应用提供沃土。我们这个行业与其他的行业不同，我们需要自己创造规则，建立这个行业，之后才能产生爆炸性的增长。但我们做到了。在这样内外兼修的背景下，我们有理由、有信心在 TC 取证完成后，逐步实现一航的业绩大踏步增长和战略目标，从而更好地回报我们的股东和各界伙伴，同时持续推动 UAM 新兴行业的可持续化发展。下面请我们的首席运营官方鑫先生介绍今年3季度的业绩情况。谢谢。
This is the English translation of the CEO's remarks. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our earnings conference call today. Since EHang submitted the EH216 certification application to the CAAC, which is the Civil Aviation Administration of China, at the end of 2020, we have been continuously committed to the efforts to actively promote the EHang 216 certification progress in the past 2 years. An airworthiness certification is not only a safety certification and a prerequisite for official commercial aircraft operations, but also the crucial path for EHang to move forward in its strategy of becoming an urban air mobility platform operator, and thus the key catalyst and driving force for the company's business growth. Here, we'd like to thank our investors, customers, regulators, and partners for their long-lasting attention and support. Every member of the EHang team value the support given to EHang and are wholly dedicated to meet the expectations of our stakeholders. As an innovative project, the airworthiness certification process is full of tremendous challenges, along with the continued impact of the pandemic in China. Our technology, product, and the certification teams have tirelessly worked days and nights to overcome difficulties in a collaborative synergy. Additionally, they have worked under close cooperation with the CAC expert team, and we are about to greet the victory dawning. At present, all of our certification plans have been officially approved by the CAC expert team. In other words, the means of compliance for all the 12 specified airworthiness review subjects have been confirmed, including aircraft performance and flight, structural strength, design and configuration, ground control station, airborne human-computer interaction, continued airworthiness, etc. As a result, the EHang 216 certification process has already completed the phases of concept design, requirements definition, and compliance planning, and entered the ongoing final phase for demonstration and verification of compliance. We have completed the most demanding and complicated work, across the most difficult obstacles, and overcame many challenging uncertainties. What we are doing next is to implement all the plans that we made. Besides, we are fully confident in the final phase of airworthiness certification, which is specifically about conducting verification review through laboratory tests, ground tests and inspections, flight tests, and data analysis by the CAC expert team and EHang, in accordance with the approved certification plans. EHang 216 have accumulated more than 30,000 safe flights and data records over the years, which could be solid support to the demonstration of compliance. The proven passenger-carrying AV test flight records, as well as the test flights in extreme weather environment, such as the high altitudes, typhoons, deserts, and heavy fog, will accelerate the process of verification of compliance. On this basis, we are carrying out some supplementary tests and flight tests for verification, so as to complete the type certification process. We are fully confident to complete the world's first airworthiness certification for the human-carrying unmanned aircraft system. Our confidence is not only derived from strength and innovation of our AAV technologies, but also from the open and innovative spirits of the Chinese government, the CAC, and the aviation industry, as well as their interest, support, and guidance. All of these empower the high degree of innovation, breadth, depth, and speed of the EHang 216 certification project, which are at the forefront of the emerging industries across the globe. In September and November this year, EHang was honored to be invited by the ICAO, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization, to attend the 41st ICAO Assembly, Innovation Fair, and RPAS Symposia at the ICAO's headquarters in Montreal, Canada, and shared the exploration and practice on EHang 216 airworthiness certification project and innovative results with global aviation regulators. In particular, the CAC, as the first class member of ICAO, introduced China's first airworthiness certification standard for human-carrying unmanned aircraft system at the ICAO Assembly, providing a reference for countries in formulating related regulations. It is not easy to be a first mover and a pioneer. Even so, over the past 8 years, EHang has always been committed to its steadfast mission, which is to make safe, autonomous, and eco-friendly air mobility accessible to everyone. For this, we have and always will adhere to the principles of safety first, bold innovation, careful analysis, and prudent verification, contribute to the formulation of relevant industry standards and norms. With the experience and the expertise we have accumulated over the years, and lead healthy and continuously improving development of the emerging eVTOL industry worldwide. Meanwhile, driven by leading innovative players like EHang, we are pleased to see that China has taken more and more new policies and measures to continuously support and promote the development of urban air mobility and unmanned civil aviation. In August, the CAAC released the Unmanned Civil Aviation Development Roadmap 1.0, which set the short, medium, and long-term development stages and goals for 2025, 2030, and 2035. These are significant in how they clarify the direction for the new industry development. Meanwhile, the CAAC also approved 7 new unmanned civil aviation experimental zones, in addition to the first batch of 13. Currently, there are a total of 20 pilot cities in China to put the policies into actions. In some of these zones, EHang received strong support and pre-orders from the local government and customers. They are actively building UAM operational trial flight bases and supporting infrastructures to bring the integrated development of aerial sightseeing, aerial logistics, and smart city management industries, as well as provide further grounds for the operations and practical applications of EHang AAVs. Unlike other developed industries, we need to create new regulations to build up this new industry, and we made it, which expect to be followed by explosive growth. Against such a strong and promising backdrop, we have the reasons and confidence that EHang will achieve significant growth results and meet our strategic goals after completing the type certification to provide better returns for our shareholders and partners, while continuously promoting the sustainable development of the emerging UAM industry. Next, I will turn the call to our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Xin Fang, for business results in Q3. Thank you.
谢谢胡总，各位好。今年3季度，我们在继续聚焦一航216试航审定项目的同时，不但开拓国内外市场，为认证后的商业化运营做充分准备。在中国，10月以来，新冠疫情再次出现反弹，席卷国内多地，尤其是一航总部所在地广州。尽管暂时面临着更加严峻的防疫管控挑战，我们放眼长远，持续在 AAV 目标市场之一的低空旅游领域蓄力深耕。继广西贵港、湖南吉首后，今年3季度以来，我们陆续在山东青岛、安徽房山等地开拓了潜在的业务机会，整合多方资源，积极在当地布局城市空中交通产业生态。围绕一航空中交通本线的运营目标，从去年正式启动至今，一航216在中国的试运行网点数量累计已扩张到15个，覆盖广州、深圳、上海等一线城市，以及其他有丰富旅游景点的热门城市，并主要基于空中观光的实际应用环境，在各地累计完成了约6800多架次的运营试飞，为认证后投入商业运营积累经验，蓄势待发。另外，一航自主开发的 AAV 运营系统已上线投入，用于各个试运行网点，目前内测效果良好，将有助于大幅提升 AAV 运行的管理效率。今年10月，我们很高兴迎来了一位在全球航空业的飞机工程和 MRO 维修领域拥有70多年丰富经验和雄厚实力的合作伙伴——太古集团旗下的港机集团。我们相信，凭借双方在制造与组装、持续试航、数字平台、飞行器维修及人员培训等多领域的潜在合作，以及港机集团遍布全球的售后维修服务体系和网络，将有望为未来一航 AAV 的商业运营提供坚实的基础和保障。在海外，我们在亚洲和欧洲这2大重点区域取得了不错的进展。今年以来，我们在亚洲区的日本、马来西亚、印度尼西亚、泰国等地的市场开拓卓有成效，累计突破210架载人 AAV 的预订单。3季度，我们携手日本客户，再次成功完成一航216在日本的试乘巡飞，一经飞行足迹遍布日本6座城市，不久成功展示了海上空中观光、空中出行、自费物流等 AAV 的应用场景。
还首次实现了以 Vipo 在日本的海上飞行和点对点的转场飞行，也为争取参加2025年日本大阪关西世博会项目获得了绝佳的展示机会，为后续在日本拓展业务奠定坚实的基础。此外，一航在欧盟发起多个 UAM 项目中发挥了重要的作用。例如10月，一航216在西班牙成功试飞，有效验证了城市空中交通运行概念，圆满实现了 AMU LED 项目的目标。11月，一航加入了欧盟航天计划的 SAMVA 项目，计划用欧洲地球同步卫星导航增强服务系统，为一航216在欧洲的运行提供精准的导航，从而支持 U-Space 融合空域。纵观即将结束的2022年，我们持续受到新冠疫情和中国防疫管控的影响，给公司原计划的4航审定项目进程和业务开展带来不小的阻力和挑战。根据当前实际情况以及4季度展望，我们调整了年度业绩预期，2022年总收入预计为5500万至6500万元人民币左右。尽管如此，我们对公司长期持续的业绩增长和发展势头保持乐观和信心。基于我们的技术领先优势和已经迈入最后冲刺阶段的一航216-STC 审定进程，日益增长的 UAM 市场需求和超过1200家的载人 AAV 在手一订单，充足的商业化准备和产业链部署，以及积极的政策环境支持，尤其在中国，这些核心竞争力以及我们坚持不懈地执行公司战略，让一航未来可期。下面请我们的首席财务官刘健介绍公司第3季度的财务情况。谢谢各位。
This is the English translation of the COO's remarks. Thank you, Mr. Hu. Hello, everyone. In the third quarter, we remained focused on the EHang 216 airworthiness certification project and continued to explore domestic and overseas markets to fully prepare for post-certification commercial operations. Since October, the COVID-19 resurgence has swept across many cities across China, especially Guangzhou, where EHang is headquartered. Although we are facing serious challenges from pandemic control measures, we will continue to drive our efforts in the low-altitude aero tourism, one of our AAV target markets. Following Guigang City in Guangxi Province and Jishou City in Hunan Province, since the third quarter, we have been exploring more potential opportunities in Qingdao City in Shandong Province and Huangshan City in Anhui Province, and integrating local resources to actively develop a broader and diversified UAM ecosystem. EHang formally launched the 100 Air Mobility Routes Initiative last year. So far, we have completed over 6,800 operational trial flights with EHang 216 in practical aerial sightseeing scenarios at 15 operation spots across China to accumulate valuable experience for post-certification commercial operations. These operation spots cover first-tier cities such as Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Shanghai, as well as other tourist destinations. In addition, EHang's self-developed AAV operational system has been put into use across all operation spots. The current internal test demonstrated positive results, which will significantly improve AAV operations management efficiency. In October, we established a partnership with Heco Group, a subsidiary of Swire Group. Heco Group brings over 70 years of experience in maintenance, repair, and overhaul, and has after-sales maintenance service system and network across the globe. We believe that the potential cooperation opportunities in manufacturing and assembly, continued airworthiness, digital platforms, aircraft maintenance, and talent training will help further solidify the foundation for EHang 216 commercial operations in the future. On the international front, we have made meaningful progress in 2 key regions, Asia and Europe. Since the beginning of this year, we have achieved fruitful results in developing Asian markets, including Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, and have received a total of 210 pre-orders for passenger-grade AAVs. In the third quarter, With the support of our Japanese customers, EHang 216 completed a demo flight tour across 4 cities, leaving footprint in up to 6 Japanese cities to date. This flight tour not only demonstrated use cases in aerial sightseeing over the sea, air mobility, and smart logistics, but also include the over-the-sea flight and point-to-point flight for the first time of an eVTOL aircraft in Japan. It was also an excellent showcase for participation opportunities at Expo 2025 Osaka, Kansai, which will further strengthen preparations for subsequent business expansion in Japan. Furthermore, EHang played an important role in many European Union's UAM projects. For instance, the EHang 216 trial flights in October verified and validated the UAM concept of operations, which completed the EMULAT project objectives. In November, EHang participated in the SENDA project, initiated by the European Union Agency for the Space Program, to deploy the EGNOS, which is the European Geostationary Navigation Overlay Service, on the EHang 216 operations, and to support use-based integration across Europe. 2022 is coming to an end, but we continue to see impact from the COVID-19 resurgence and the pandemic control measures in China, which brings considerable challenges to our original airworthiness certification process and business development plan. We have adjusted our guidance based on the current situation and the outlook for the fourth quarter. The company expects total revenue for 2022 to be in the range of 55 million to 65 million RMB. Nevertheless, we remain optimistic and confident about achieving the company's long-term financial growth and the development momentum based on our core competencies, including the leading technological advantages, the EHang 216 STC process entering the final phase, and the increasing UAM market demand with pre-orders for more than 1,200 passenger-grade AAVs in hand, and sufficient preparation for commercialization and industrial chain deployment, and also favorable regulatory support, especially in China. Based on that, and our consistent execution of the corporate strategies, EHang is well positioned for a promising future. I will now turn the call over to our CFO, Richard Liu, for financial results. Richard, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Xin. Hello, everyone. Before I go into details, please note that all numbers presented are in RMB and are for the third quarter of 2022, unless stated otherwise. All percentage changes are on a quarter-over-quarter basis, unless otherwise specified. Detailed analysis are contained in our earnings press release, which is available on our IR website. I will now highlight some of the key points here. Our third quarter performance reflects impacts from the COVID resurgence in China. However, we continue to enhance our cost management to improve operational efficiency despite these near-term challenges. We maintain our focus on the development of areas that can deliver long-term growth as we continue to execute our strategy towards becoming an integrated urban air mobility operator. Turning to our operating results in Q3 2022, total revenues were 8.2 million, compared with 14.6 million in Q2. This was due to the unfavorable market impact, mainly from the pandemic resurgence and related control measures in China. EH216 AAV deliveries in Q3 were 4 units, compared with 8 units in Q2. That said, demand for AAVs remains strong, notably with pre-orders from the Southeast Asian market this year. As we are focusing on completing the final phase in the type certification process of EH216X, we are also stepping up our efforts in preparing for its commercial operations by expanding our market presence and our partnership network at home and abroad, coupled with other strategic initiatives. Gross margin was 65.9% in Q3, a slight decrease of 1.2 percentage points from 67.1% in Q2. but it remains at a high level compared to those of other new energy mobility products, such as electric cars. This attests to EHang's competitive strengths and first-mover advantages in the global UAM and eVTOL industries. In Q3, our adjusted operating expenses, which are operating expenses excluding share-based compensation expenses, were $59.7 million, representing an improvement of 5.9% from $63.4 million in Q2. The decrease was mainly attributed to decreased professional expenses as well as fluctuated R&D expenses related to different processes in product development and the ongoing certification process. With that, in Q3, our adjusted operating loss was $52.9 million, compared with $51.2 million in Q2. Our adjusted net loss was $55.1 million in Q3, compared with $50.8 million in Q2. As for our balance sheet, we continue to maintain relatively healthy cash equivalents, restricted cash, and short-term investment balances of $208.8 million as of the end of Q3, which was attributed to our continuous management of operating expenditures and cash flow. Additionally, we will be moving to a new headquarters office in Guangzhou to embrace the new phase of growth that the company is expecting to see following completion of the type certification. Nevertheless, we have been sticking to a proven cost control strategy and taking effective measures to optimize new office rental expenses. It is expected to give us a cost down estimated by around 20% compared with those of our current office. Given the latest pandemic resurgence in China, we expect such headwinds would probably remain a challenge in the near term. But we believe that for the longer term, we will be able to capture the great growth potential of the UAM industry with our leading technologies and comprehensive strategies. We remain committed to providing a safe, autonomous, and sustainable aerial mobility experience while creating values for our shareholders and stakeholders. That concludes our prepared remarks. Let's now open the call for questions. Operator, please go ahead.
During the question and answer session, to ask the questions on the phone, please press star 11 and wait for the activate. One moment for the question. The first question comes from the line of Cindy Huang from
Thank you for my questions. I have two questions. My first question is regarding the progress of type certification. As we enter into more in-depth review phase, can we expect that EHang still can receive type certificates by the end of this year? And my second question is that in light of recent COVID lockdown, have we encountered any hiccups in terms of production, component sourcing, type certificate obtainment, and delivery schedule? And do we see any risk that may delay the timetable of receiving TC? And how should we think about the revenue cadence into 2023? Thank you.
Do we have the management on the line? Seems to hear you. Unmute your local line, please. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello?
Please stand by. Issues. Thank you.
Hello? Hi. 我说话能听见吗？
听得见。
方式，管理层的边是您的。
我现在可以说了吗？是我要现在回答第一个问题吗？声音非常杂，非常不清晰。Hello？ 安利，你能听见声音吗？开始40几分钟一直非常清晰，现在突然一下声音不清晰了。
张总，我这边听得到您的声音，我觉得是 operator 他们的 line 有一些问题，所以没关系，您可以直接回答问题。
我现在可以回答了吗？安利，我现在可以回答问题没有？
请回答。
你好，我是方鑫，请问我现在可以回答第一个问题否？
可以的，谢谢。
好的，谢谢。那我开始回答了。那个关于第一个问题，就是四行取证的一些进展情况，我现在进行一个回答。首先，谢谢您的提问。就如刚才胡总就四行取证呢，他已经进行了一个深入的阐述。EHang 216的 TC 审定呢，目前已经进入了一个最后的阶段。具体来说的话，中国民航局呢，专家组已经批准了所有的审定计划，完成了相关符合性证明和验证工作。根据EHang过去多年积累的实际数据，提供了非常好的支撑。加上民航局和民航局专家组的一贯性严谨原则，大家的相互探讨下呢，这些非常有助于加速最后阶段的一个进展。鉴于EHang 216的四行取证呢是一个全球的一个第一个吧，所以它里面存在了很多未知的问题，我们在共同的面对和一起去验证它的最后的一个取证过程。EHang 216的审定呢，也是今年民航局的一个重点的工作项目之一。计划目标呢，我们是2022，就今年的12月份取得四行取证。中国民航局专家组成员呢，也多次的组织成员到EHang和我们一起集中办公。因为12月份呢，整个广州的疫情呢发生了非常严重的一个封锁阶段吧，受这个影响，造成了我们的集中办公的一个推后。我们原计划是在12月15号左右呢，到广西合州集中的就最后一个符合性检测阶段呢进行一个集中的一个验证的。这个延缓后呢，最近吧，在下周可能会基于广州疫情的一个放开，我们会重新开始。这个四行取证可能会有一定的延缓，但是延缓的时间不会太长。随着这个疫情的逐步放开，我们可能在1月左右会取得四行的一个明确的结果，就是会取得替身认证。这第一个问题大概是这个情况，谢谢。喂。
Thank you for the answer. May we have the management translation, please? Perhaps management for the translation line, would you like to rejoin again if you can hear us? Everyone, please stand by. We are trying to address the issue. Okay, we can hear you now. Please carry on, please.
Provide the English translations. As our CEO, Mr. Hu, mentioned earlier, the EHang 216 type certification has entered into the final phase, specifically to complete the compliance demonstration and verification work according to the certification plan approved by the CAC expert team. The practical data that EHang has accumulated over the past years provides a solid support. And together with the support of the CAC and the expert team, it will help to accelerate the final phase of the process. As we are the world's first, we are facing a lot of uncertainties, but the EHang 216 type certification is one of the key projects of CAC for this year, which was originally scheduled to complete by around of December this year. Particularly, the CAC called for the members of the TC expert team to get together at the EHang site in Guangxi to work closely with us. However, the recent epidemic resurgence in Guangzhou made it difficult for all the members across the country to come together. Thus, the timetable might be delayed, but it will not be too long because most recently, as the COVID restriction measures have begun to ease by steps in China, the related impact is expected to gradually decrease. So our expectation may be around January next year. This is all about the translation of the first questions.
Thank you. Would you like to move to the next questions from the investor, please?
Hello， 好的，我现在开始回答第二个问题。今年以来呢，与国内其他公司类似，疫情呢对整个一行的业务拓展和原定项目计划产生了非常大的影响。在业务开展方面，我们的自动驾驶飞行器产品目前主要应用场景是旅游行业。旅游业呢，今年受到疫情的影响是最严重的行业之一。我们在严格的防疫情况下，依然在广西贵港、湖南吉首、山东青岛和安徽黄山等地开拓了大量的潜在业务机会，获得了当地政府客户的诸多信任支持和合作。此外，疫情对我们的生产供应链的整体影响不是太大。明年整体的一个收入预计的情况呢，还是要看 TC 起振的时间，加上国内疫情逐步减弱，经济的复苏和旅游业能够相对一个业务的大量的增长。在这种地区呢，我们在各个地方的拓展的客户，在不停的情况下呢，我们可以陆续的逐步的交付预订单和开拓新的市场。明年的收入呢，预计会显著增长，恢复到一个高速增长的通道里面。具体的一个业务预计情况呢，可以等到我们的明年收入指引的时候一并进行一个深入的阐述。谢谢。
Okay, this is the English translation of the answers above. Regarding your second question, the epidemic has had a significant impact on our business development and the original project plans since the beginning of this year, just like other Chinese companies. In terms of the business development, the tourism industry is our initial main target market for our AV product applications. While it is one of the industries severely affected by the epidemic. However, we have been exploring more potential opportunities in Guigang City in Guangxi Province, Jishou City in Hunan Province, Qingdao City in Shandong Province, and Anhui City in Huangshan City in Anhui Province, etc. And despite the strict pandemic control measures, and we received adequate trust, support, and cooperation from local government and customers. In addition, the epidemic has no significant impact on our production and supply chain. And our next year's revenue expectations will depending on the timing of obtaining the type certificate and the recovery of the economy and the tourism industry after the epidemic situation gradually subsides in China. And ideally, the potential customers in the markets above will be able to place orders while we could gradually deliver the product, so that we are likely to achieve significant revenue growth next year and return to the high growth trajectory. And for more details, please wait for our guidance next year. And this is all about the translation of the answer.
Thank you very much for the questions. Allow me to proceed with the next questions. One moment, please. Our next question comes from Yuho Wu from Goldman Sachs. Please proceed.
谢谢方总胡总Richard。那首先恭喜公司取得这个不错的业绩。我有2个问题想请教一下。第一个问题想问一下，就是EHang 216这个 BOM 可不可以帮我们拆分一下，特别是这个电机、电控还有电池这块儿，然后我们的主要供应商有哪些？就是我们这个EHang 216的这个BOM 的这个 breakdown 可不可以看成说跟这个电动车是一个差不多的一个这样的一个水平？那第2个问题是想问一下，就是pre-order 和订单交付这块儿，那以及就是在这个应用领域的话，在低空的飞行这块儿，除了我们刚刚说的这个旅游业的话，还有没有一些其他的在低空飞行这块我们正在加速的去渗透的。Okay, I will translate for myself. Yeah, thanks management to take my question and congratulations on the result. I have 2 questions. The first one is about the EHang 216 bomb. Could you please share us this aircraft the bomb cost breakdown, especially the battery, the motor, the battery management part, and who are the support? Can we take the view that this EHang model bomb cost breakdown is similar as the EV? And second one is how many the pre-order and the deliveries we have so far, and in terms of scenarios, apart from the set thing, what types of the passenger transportation scenarios are we penetrating into? Thanks.
Thank you for the questions. This is Richard. Let me take your first question, and then I will let our CEO Xin take your second question. So basically, the cost structure of the EH216 AAV can be divided into 3 major portions. First, the power and propulsion system, and second, the fuselage and the structure. Third, the electronic components and others. And from a new energy mobility product perspective, the major composition of the propulsion system of an EH216 AAV can be regarded similar to that of an EV. Basically, it mainly includes electric motors, motor drivers, and batteries together with the battery management system, or BMS. In respect of percentage, each portion, as mentioned just now, consists roughly 1/3 of the total cost, more or less. In respect of suppliers, most of our qualified suppliers with long-term relationships are those located in South China, more specifically in the Pearl River Delta area, which is known as a world-leading manufacturing hub, and where our headquarters is. So this gives us an easy access to a large number of high-quality suppliers and a competitive edge in respect supply chain in terms of costs and efficiency as compared to our peer companies in other countries. So I will let Xin take your second question. 方总，
我在
第2个问题。
行，我就订单交付情况这些问题，我进行一个 total 的回答吧。你好，我是方鑫。好吧，今年以来呢，除了今年在亚洲市场我们新增了200多家预订单。目前我们在国内呢，潜在的订单客户呢也非常多。已经公示的有广西贵港的秦唐、湖南吉首的天银舰。我们在当地部署了EHang的 AAV， 进行了一个低空的一个旅游领域的一个业务拓展。目前秦唐公示了潜在订单是60架EHang 216的系列飞行器，预计在拿到批申证后会逐步下单交付和运营。另外呢，我们已经向湖南海寨的天银舰公司交付了5架EHang 216，并进行了一个运营的
一个试验。在这个景区呢，我们开发了一个低空旅游项目，后续随着项目的逐步推进，还会陆续有一个25台的216的旅游版的交付。除开在低空旅游板块，我们现在目前和消防、应急部门和医院的应急救援这些客户呢，也有一些非常多的接洽。在最近，在本季度吧，可能在青岛会陆续交付216的消防版，大概一共有个6到10架的一个订单数量吧。因此我们在取得市场之后呢，我们首先先倾斜更多的资源在低空旅游领域，这个领域对我们的贡献无疑是最重要的。接着呢，我们就是消防应急和物流运输和应急和一些那个医疗救护的板块里面会逐步的增加，他们对一行的收入会有一个显著的提升。谢谢。我回答完了这个问题。
Okay, 谢谢方总。This is the translation of Mr. Fang's answer. So far this year, in addition to the over 200 units of EHang AAV pre-orders in the Asian markets, we have potential orders from many domestic customers in pipeline, such as Qingtang District in Guigang City, Guangxi Province, and Tianxingjian in 这个吉首 City, Hunan Province. They are very interested in deploying EHang AAVs in the local areas to develop the low altitude tourism industry. And the potential orders in Qingtang include 60 units of EHang 216 series AAVs, which are expected to be placed and delivered gradually after obtaining a type certificate. In addition, 5 units of EHang 216 has been delivered to Tianxingjian to developing an aerial sightseeing project. And this customer intends to purchase additional 25 units as the project evolves. And apart from the low altitude tourism market, we are also in contact with the customers who have needs for firefighting and emergency transportation, such as the Qingdao Fire Department and some hospitals, which has a potential order about 6 units of EHang 216 firefighting model. Given that our initial primary target market is the low altitude tourism, which we invest more resources, the revenues from this market will be the most significant in the near future, and followed by the firefighting and the emergency aerial transport use cases. This is all of the translation.
Thank you for the answers. One moment for the next question. The next question comes from the line of Di Wu from Tianfeng Securities. Please proceed.
Thank you, management team, for taking my question. My first question is, recently we see that U.S. has issued a series of export bans on high-end chips. Just wondering, will there be any potential impact on EHang's supply chain? And my second question is, we noticed that China's domestic epidemic prevention policy is experiencing some softening, especially in Guangzhou. If these policies continue to ease in the future, what will be our new outlook on the future, for example, like TC approval and market demand and etc.? Thank you so much.
This is Richard. Let me take your questions. First of all, we are not using those US banned chips in our products. Thus, as you can imagine, there will be no potential impact on our supply chain. But we will be mindful of this when we further implement our R&D and supply chain strategies. Additionally, we adopt a strict mechanism to review and ensure quality and stability of our supply chain. And we always seek to fully engage with our qualified suppliers to establish long-standing and strong partnerships. In respect to your second question, yes, we have been experiencing the optimization or even the easing of COVID prevention and control measures recently. As you mentioned, Guangzhou, where we are headquartered, has initiated doing so since just 2 days ago. And it seems more cities are gradually following the suit. So this is a very good sign to the market. Given the COVID prevention measures can be further loosened up, travel can be back to normal. So when these challenges are eased or is further eliminated, it is expected to have positive impacts on the business. For example, in respect of type certification, the inspectors will be able to travel without difficulties to our locations to convene and check on-site, thus facilitating the process. In respect of markets, it will help the tourism industry, which we initially target back to normal, thus facilitating the relevant tourism operator customers to complete orders. So coupled with TC soon to be obtained, it is expected our business would rebound next year. And we believe our efforts will allow us to capture this market growth opportunities going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. Seeing no more questions in the queue, let me turn the call back to Ms. Ji for closing remarks.
Thank you, operator. And thank you all for participating on our today's call. If you have further questions, please contact our IR team by email or participate in our following investor events through the calendar information provided on our IR website. We appreciate your interest and look forward to our next earnings call. Thank you.
Thank you all again. This concludes the call. You may now disconnect.